Clash Royale is about to release one final set of balance changes before the end of 2021, and this one is going to be big. That's right, with 12 cards being balanced, there is definitely going to be a big shift in the upcoming Clash Royale meta. So let's not waste any time and get right into what's coming in the December season of Clash Royale. Starting off with a brief overview of the next season. It is going to be, of course, a Christmas-themed season featuring an Archer Queen Tower skin in Clash Royale, as well as a purchasable Clashmas Tavern Tower skin. 3 new emotes are also going to be arriving: an Archer Queen emote in Clash Royale, a Firecracker emote in the shop, and a Spooky Hog emote that's going to be unlocked through an in-game challenge. Finally, in addition to the legendary book of cards that you can get in the free track of Clash Royale is doing an event called the 12 Days of Clashmas, where from the 14th through the 25th of December, as long as you log into the game, you're gonna get a free reward in the shop. The rewards that you're gonna get are shown on screen right now, so pause the video if you would like to take a closer look. And with that out of the way, it's finally time to get into the balance changes. This time there are 12 cards being balanced, many of which will have some very large impacts on how the meta will shape up in the month of December. So without further ado, let's get right into them. Furnace rework. Lifetime decreased from 49 to 33 seconds. Spawn rate increased from 7 seconds to 6 seconds. 1 Fire Spirit death spawn, and hit points decreased by 17%. The Furnace is probably the best of the 4 spawner buildings, and so even though this is labeled as a rework, it's actually a little bit closer to a nerf. This decrease in lifetime as well as hit points makes the Furnace a lot weaker to medium spells such as the Fireball and the Poison, and it also means that the Furnace will be spawning 1 less wave of Fire Spirits. That being said, the Furnace now also has a death spawn of 1 Fire Spirit, so hey, at least there's that, right? Goblin Hut. Lifetime decreased from 40 to 31 seconds. Spawn rate increased from 4.5 to 4 seconds, and hit points decreased by 17%. Just like the Furnace, the Goblin Hut has also been very popular in this current meta, and it's currently just a little bit too dominant on the defensive end. This decrease in hit points in lifetime also makes the Goblin Hut very weak to medium spells, and it also means that the Goblin Hut will be staying on the arena for 10 less seconds. Barbarian Hut rework. Lifetime decreased from 50 to 40 seconds. Spawn rate increased from 12 seconds to 10 seconds. Hit points minus 15%. So this change I actually do not agree with. I don't think the Barbarian Hut was particularly popular in this meta, but I guess Clash Royale is just going through and providing a slight rework to all of the spawner buildings. Again, this rework makes the Barbarian Hut very weak to spells such as the Poison, not so much the Fireball, but to make up for it, the Barbarian Hut will spawn Barbarians just a little bit faster. Tombstone rework. Lifetime decreased from 40 to 30 seconds. Spawn rate decreased from 3.1 to 3.3 seconds, and now spawns 2 skeletons at once. Now this is actually quite an interesting rework. Tombstone obviously is probably the weakest of these spawner buildings, so following along with the theme of decreasing the building's lifetime, but making it so that the Tombstone will spawn 2 skeletons every single time will mean that it's actually going to be quite a bit more effective at defending these ground pushes. Fire Spirit nerf. Jump range decreased from 2.5 to 2 tiles. Now the Fire Spirit has become very popular, not just in decks that include the Furnace, but just on its own as a cycle card. The big splash radius just makes the Fire Spirit a little bit too effective. So by decreasing the jump range, it means that in some cases the Fire Spirit won't actually get that jump onto the troop. But don't worry, however, a lone Fire Spirit will still connect onto the tower if left ignored, so nothing to worry about there. Executioner buff. Hit points increased by 5%. The Executioner has never been too popular in the Clash Royale meta, aside from the time when they overbuffed it, and so Clash Royale is finally giving the Executioner a little bit of love. This increase in HP will mean that the Executioner can now survive a lightning zap combination, so he'll be slightly more tanky in the arena. Rascal Girls buff. Hit speed increased 9%. Now, bait has continued to be very popular in Clash Royale, but several bait cards, including the Rascals, are just not that popular in the bait archetype. Therefore, by increasing the Rascal Girls' hit speed and thus increasing their damage per second, these Rascal Girls will be a lot more effective on both a defensive and an offensive end. So hopefully we'll be seeing a return of the Rascals in Clash Royale's bait decks. Goblin Cage. Hit points minus 23%. Now, the Goblin Cage is so popular in this current meta. It fits in almost every single deck. It not only can pull and distract tanks, and it also spawns an insanely high damage Goblin Brawler that can deal with so many tanks. With this nerf, the Goblin Brawler itself will be just as effective as before, but the building will have to be played a little bit more carefully as it's getting almost a quarter of its hit points completely removed. Mother Witch nerf. Hit points minus 18%. The Mother Witch is still one of the most popular legendary cards in Clash Royale. She fits in so many different archetypes, especially decks that use her for poison or fireball bait. By decreasing her hit points, she's just going to be a little bit weaker all around on the arena, plus she will die to an arrow zap combination, which just opens up a lot of more options in terms of countering the Mother Witch. Tesla nerf. Hit speed minus 9%. Tesla is one of the strongest buildings in Clash Royale. It's a staple in pretty much any type of cycle deck, and so Clash Royale is going to nerf it just so that it's a little bit weaker versus those big, massive pushes. This change I don't necessarily agree with. I didn't think the Tesla was particularly overpowered, but hey, what can you do? Battle Ram buff. Connection damage plus 8%. Battle Ram is rarely seen nowadays in bridge spam decks. They're simply better options from the Ram Rider to the newly released Golden Knight. By increasing the Battle Ram's connection damage, it's just going to be slightly more deadly, so hopefully he'll find its place back in some of those bridge spam decks. Ice Wizard applies a cold effect when deployed. Now, this is a very interesting change. So the Ice Wizard obviously is not doing too hot in this current meta. He's not very popular, he dies to the fireball, and so just like his brother the Electro Wizard, he is now going to have an enter the arena effect, dealing a little bit of damage and slowing opposing troops in a relatively small radius. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not quite sure how effective this change actually is going to be because the Ice Wizard is such a weak troop, but I guess at the end of the day I could say the same for the Electro Wizard as well. Dark Goblin buff. Damage plus 9%. Just like I said previously for the Rascals, the Dark Goblin is another one of those bait cards that just is not seen in bait decks today. Now, even though this damage buff doesn't immediately change any interactions, it's really going to be useful against some of those higher hit point units, such as the Hog Rider or the Royal Giant. So again, hopefully we'll see a return of Dark Goblin in some of those bait decks. So there we go, everything coming in the December season of Clash Royale, including some of those Clashmas gifts, as well as the set of 12 balance changes. Let me know your thoughts on them in the comment section below, and as always, I'll see you guys next time.